Hello, everyone. I just wanted to go through a quick update of where we're at as far as script preparation tools. And we've made a lot of really good updates recently. So this is where those tools are right now. Once you log into your Pozotron account, you create a project like usual. And in this case, we're going to look at this Rosaline's Ink book. Now, this is just the script. No audio has been uploaded yet. And we're specifically going to look at the pronunciation guide and the character voice guide. We'll start with the pronunciation guide. Now, what's going to happen here is Pozotron's going to scan through the whole text right after you upload it for custom words, capitalized rare words, complex words, and foreign words. Initially, it's going to sort by number of occurrences, so words that happen the most often on down. You can also change this anytime you want to these different categories. So if you want Pozotron to pick them up linearly, you just switch it to first occurrence. And you're going to open the suggestions, and you also have a chance to change the default dictionary that it looks things up in eventually. So you can change it from the Oxford US Dictionary to Oxford GB or Forvo. We're going to leave that on Oxford US for now, and we're going to open the suggestions. And what this has is 55 words that fit in these categories, and you're going to either add them to the research list or ignore them. And you can use the hotkeys of R and I to do this. You'll notice that a lot of these are proper names because it fits into that either custom or capitalized rare category. As you work your way down, though, it'll be more toward uncommon words. You'll see this did catch times as well. Sometimes when there's acronyms or times or things like that, it'll show up in the pronunciation guide suggestions. You can just ignore them if you'd like. Now, I'm going to change this over to number of occurrences, and that will bring the words that show up the most to the top of this list. So you can see Rosaline shows up 274 times, starting on page 3. Eugenia starts on page 18 and is mentioned 36 times. And as you work your way down, these are mostly going to be character and place names. And then you'll hit these times, which just ignore in this case. And then you'll find the words that are more difficult that you might want to add to your pronunciation guide. And any of these, when you get down to them, you'll decide whether you want Pozotron to look them up in that dictionary of your choice or not. So I'm going to go through real quick and just hit R or I for a bunch of these. Well, research, ignore, research, and then here's a bunch that we can ignore. And then as it gets toward those other words, we'll research some of these just so you can see how it works. Research. And so you can see that 55 word suggestion, quite a few of them are words that you'd want to put on your pronunciation research page. And it's going to start collecting them over here. And on the main research page, you can see it gives back the IPA of its suggestions that came from the dictionary and playback.
Rosaline.
Now, in this case, that's not actually the pronunciation that I want, so I can click this here. Rosaline. And now, Rosaline. I have an MP3 version for my own benefit or anyone else working on this project that says exactly how Rosaline is supposed to be pronounced. Rosaline. That one doesn't have a playback. Interesting. So again, Eugenia. Oliva. And this is how I make my list. And you'll see some of these other words here.
Angular.
Asymmetrical. Asynchronous.
Fantastic way to really, really quickly make a pronunciation research page. And if you don't like any of the initial research from the Oxford US Dictionary, there's one-click link to go to Merriam-Webster, Forvo, OneLook, or Youglish. We'll do asymmetrical in Youglish.
3 of asymmetrical sleep.
Awesome resource. Now, The character voice guide, which is another part of the prep script tools, does the same thing, but it specifically works for character names. So it has 34 characters that it found. Again, you find Rosaline, Oscar, Eugenia, and if you hover over it, it'll give you the first 5 examples in the book, Arthur, and decide who you want on your character voice guide. We're going to add Rosaline and Oscar and Eugenia. And again, once you get all of your characters in there, you go back to that main page, and now it has extra options for this section. You can add a picture, you can add character descriptions, you can add character voice notes, and you can even upload a 30-second sample of that character's voice or record your own right into Pozotron. So that's kind of how you get it initially set up. And what it looks like when it's finished is you'll have this full pronunciation guide with all of the phonetics that you can put in custom-wise or coming from the dictionary, all of the recordings that you do or the playbacks from those dictionaries, and all of the characters with pictures and notes and aliases and counts and recordings in their voice. And the last thing that you can do with the part of the prep script that we have developed is export a marked up script. And everything that you have worked on will now be highlighted in the original script that you made with all of the notes that you have listed right there available for you. And this looks a little bit different in iAnnotate, but it does work the same. So those are the script prep tools, the 3 major parts: the pronunciation guide, the character voice guide, and then the exporting of the marked up script. And there's lots of different ways to use them individually as a narrator or as a group project when you need proofers, editors, rights holders, and narrators all to be on the same page.